In a world where radar ruled the skies, a shadow emerged that changed everything. The F-117 Nighthawk wasn't built to be seen, it was built to disappear. Born in secrecy and shaped by science, it became the world's first true stealth jet, redefining how wars would be fought from the skies. When the F-117 Nighthawk first appeared, it didn't just introduce a new jet, it introduced a new era of warfare. It was the world's first operational stealth aircraft, a machine that could slip through radar networks almost unseen. Imagine a jet that doesn't fight by speed or by brute force, but by being invisible. That's exactly what the Nighthawk was built to do. Developed by Lockheed's secretive Skunk Works division in the 1970s, the F-117 was born out of a bold idea. What if you could shape an aircraft in such a way that radar waves would simply bounce off it and never reveal its position? Engineers took that idea seriously, and the result was something no one had seen before, an aircraft made of sharp, faceted angles that looked more like a flying crystal than a fighter jet. It wasn't aerodynamic perfection. In fact, on paper, it shouldn't have even flown smoothly. But through the magic of computer-assisted flight controls and advanced materials, it worked. The jet's skin was coated with radar, absorbing materials that reduced its visibility even further, and its exhaust was designed to cool down before leaving the aircraft, minimizing infrared detection. All of this meant that the F-117 could approach enemy defenses quietly, strike its target with precision, and disappear again before anyone even knew it was there. During its early development, the program was so secret that it was tested at night deep in the Nevada desert, which is how it got the nickname Nighthawk. The pilots who flew it were part of a small, elite group who had to maintain absolute secrecy about their missions. When the jet was finally revealed to the public in 1988, the world was stunned. It looked more like a spacecraft than a warplane. Yet this strange, angular aircraft was proof that stealth was real, that invisibility in the sky could be achieved. The F-117 Nighthawk's success changed everything about how future aircraft would be designed. It showed that in modern warfare, being unseen could be more powerful than being fast, and that true air dominance wasn't about how loud you roared, but how silently you could strike. When the F-117 Nighthawk entered combat, it proved that stealth wasn't just a fancy concept, it was a revolution. The world truly saw what this mysterious black jet could do during the Gulf War in 1991. While other aircraft needed large formations and support from electronic jammers, the Nighthawk flew alone deep into enemy territory under the cover of darkness. Its mission was simple but incredibly risky: strike the most heavily defended targets right at the heart of Iraq's air defense system, and it did so with near-perfect precision. Pilots who flew the F-117 often described how surreal it felt to glide undetected over hostile radar networks, watching the chaos unfold below while remaining invisible. On the very first night of the Gulf War, Nighthawks destroyed command centers, radar installations, and key communication hubs, blinding the Iraqi military before they even realized what was happening. No other aircraft at the time could have pulled that off. What's truly remarkable is that the F-117 carried only 2 bombs, but each one counted. These weren't ordinary weapons, they were laser-guided, designed to hit within a few feet of their targets. The jet's precision was so extraordinary that it became known as the surgical scalpel of modern warfare. While other planes needed dozens of sorties to hit a single objective, the Nighthawk could take it out in one clean strike. Throughout the Gulf War, it flew hundreds of missions and came back untouched, a testament to the power of stealth. The jet's combat record wasn't about flashy dogfights or speed. It was about smart strategy and technological dominance. Its success reshaped how nations viewed air combat, proving that stealth technology could give a massive edge even against dense air defenses. The F-117 showed the world that the key to winning future wars wasn't necessarily having the biggest arsenal, but having the ability to strike first, strike unseen, and strike with absolute precision. It became a symbol of American air superiority, a ghost in the sky that enemies feared but could never see coming. The F-117 Nighthawk was often called a fighter jet, but in truth, it wasn't built to dogfight or chase enemy planes across the sky. It was designed for one purpose: precision attack. Unlike traditional fighters that carried a mix of missiles and guns for air-to-air battles, the Nighthawk was more like a stealth assassin, slipping into enemy territory undetected, striking key targets, and vanishing before anyone even knew it was there. Every aspect of its design revolved around accuracy and invisibility. It could only carry 2 bombs, but those weren't ordinary weapons. They were smart, laser-guided bombs capable of hitting their targets with pinpoint accuracy. The idea was simply, instead of dropping hundreds of bombs and hoping a few hit the target, the F-117 would drop 2 and know both would land exactly where they were intended. That philosophy changed the way air warfare was fought. Pilots trained to fly alone at night, using advanced navigation systems and infrared sensors to guide them to their objectives. There was no radar to give away their position, no communication chatter that enemies could intercept, just silent precision. Inside the cockpit, it wasn't about speed or agility. It was about focus, stealth, and execution. Each mission required absolute trust in the aircraft's technology and the pilot's instincts. What made the F-117 so incredible was its ability to deliver destruction with minimal collateral damage. It could take out a radar station, a missile battery, or a command bunker while leaving nearby structures untouched. That kind of precision was revolutionary and became a model for modern warfare strategies that prioritize accuracy over sheer firepower. The Nighthawk showed the world that wars could be won not by overwhelming numbers, but by carefully calculated strikes. It redefined what an attack aircraft could be and set the standard for the stealth generation that followed. Every time the F-117 took off, it represented a perfect balance of cutting-edge technology and pilot skill, a silent hunter whose strength lay not in the number of weapons it carried, but in how precisely it used them. The F-117 Nighthawk didn't just change the rules of warfare, it changed how people imagined what a jet could look like. When it was finally revealed to the public, many thought it looked more like a UFO than a fighter. Its sharp, angular design, all black and faceted like a crystal, made it one of the most striking aircraft ever built. There were no smooth curves or sleek lines like traditional jets. Instead, it looked jagged, almost alien. That unusual shape wasn't about looks, it was about survival. Every surface, every angle was calculated to deflect radar waves in different directions so they wouldn't bounce back to enemy sensors. To radar, the Nighthawk didn't look like a jet, it looked like a bird or a small insect, something insignificant that didn't trigger alarms. This strange geometry gave it an otherworldly aura, earning it nicknames like Wobblin' Goblin and Black Jet. Its matte black coating wasn't just for intimidation either. The color helped it blend into the night sky, making it nearly invisible during the dark missions it was designed for. Even the cockpit glass had a golden tint, not for style, but to shield radar reflections from the pilot's instruments inside. At night, when it took off from its base, all you could see was a faint silhouette gliding silently into the sky, no bright afterburners, no roar of engines that gave away its presence. Everything about its appearance screamed mystery. Pilots who flew it said people would stare in disbelief when they first saw it, unsure if it was even real. The Nighthawk became an icon of American stealth and power precisely because it looked like nothing else in the air. It symbolized a leap into the future, proof that technology could bend the rules of physics and invisibility could be engineered. Even decades later, its shape remains unforgettable. The sight of that black, angular jet sitting on a runway under dim lights still feels like looking at a secret weapon from another world, and that unique design continues to inspire awe, curiosity, and respect across generations of aviation enthusiasts and military historians alike. Even though the F-117 Nighthawk was officially retired in 2008, its legacy continues to shape the skies today. The jet wasn't just another aircraft, it was a technological milestone that changed how the world thought about air power. Before the Nighthawk, the idea of an invisible plane was mostly science fiction. After it, stealth became the gold standard for modern air forces. The innovations that made the F-117 so groundbreaking, like radar-absorbing materials, angular shaping, and heat-reducing exhaust systems, became the foundation for newer aircraft such as the F-22 Raptor and the F-35 Lightning II. Those jets inherited the Nighthawk's spirit, combining stealth with speed, agility, and multi-role capabilities. The Nighthawk proved that being unseen was just as important as being fast or heavily armed, and that idea revolutionized aircraft design forever. Even after its retirement, the story didn't end there. People began spotting F-117s still flying in the Nevada desert and California skies, leading to speculation that they were being used for training, radar testing, or even experimental missions. It was as if the ghost of stealth itself refused to fade away. The aircraft's distinctive design and combat success left a permanent mark on military aviation, influencing how nations approach the future of warfare. The lessons learned from the Nighthawk's development continue to guide engineers and pilots today, showing that innovation often begins with daring to break the rules. Beyond its technical impact, the F-117 also captured the public imagination. It became a symbol of American technological superiority, secrecy, and precision, a jet that embodied the idea of striking first and vanishing without a trace. Museums around the world now display the retired Nighthawks as silent reminders of how far aviation has come and how one aircraft redefined what was possible. Even decades later, When people see the angular silhouette of the F-117, they don't just see a plane, they see the birth of stealth, the start of a new era in aerial warfare, and the enduring proof that innovation, when combined with vision and courage, can change the course of history.